Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you to realize that the end is nigh, my friends! In a matter of hours, Capcom is about to unleash upon us something the likes of which has never been seen before. Something that's going to infect millions of consoles and PCs around the world. Something that's going to haunt our dreams! Of course, I'm talking about Resident Evil 7. And we here at Brainal thought it would be a very good idea to get all of you ready, to prep you guys for what's coming. But maybe not in the way that you would typically think, because before we usually focused on a character. But this time, we wanted to focus on a group of people. Some might even say a team of people, a squad of people, a special and tactical squad. One that time and time again has overcome hardships and had to fight against monsters. Monsters that seemingly cannot be stopped and will never die. So please join us to see what's behind this door as we dive deeper into the history of the Umbrella Corporation. Okay, so my name is Jepicondyle, and again, thank you for joining us. Very humbled about that when it comes to this Resident Evil Brainal Backstories video series. Now, I have originally had the concept of covering a couple games or a few games per section, but when I was making these videos, I swear it was overkill, because the first video ended up being close to an hour and a half long, and that was just covering the fundamentals of Umbrella as well as the events of Resident Evil 0 and 1. So I thought it would be a better move to just do this more piecemeal. So today's video, part 1, is going to mainly focus on the fundamental, foundational factoids, whatever you want to say, of the Umbrella Corporation. And then I'll follow this up with, if you guys want, that is, with videos of Resident Evil 0 and then Resident Evil 1. Hopefully I can get all the way up to Resident Evil 6. Get you guys ready to understand any possible links to Resident Evil 7. Alright, so I don't plan on getting into the very deep, nitty-gritty details of Umbrella. However, there are some fundamentals that we definitely have to go over. First and foremost, Umbrella was founded by 3 peculiar men. A world-renowned biogenetic researcher, Dr. James Marcus, a nobleman from a very proud family, Sir Edward Ashford, and probably the most important would be a diabolical nobleman by the name of Sir Oswald Spencer. So these 3 guys founded Umbrella in the late 1960s, and the question we have to ask is, why did they do that? Why is Umbrella a thing? What is the purpose? What's the mission of Umbrella? Well, from what I understand, the original mission of Umbrella is to do research into organic warfare for the military. And Spencer and Ashford, being men of nobility and power and greed, thought it would be a very good enterprise to enter as far as, making some money. Turns out they stumbled upon a virus in West Africa, and I'll mention more on that a little bit later in the series because that's related to Resident Evil 5. And with this virus, this is where they saw the potential of possibly warfare utility. This is where Dr. Marcus comes in very handy because, again, he is a world-renowned researcher in that field. So his expertise could definitely go a long way and expedite the progress of Umbrella. Alright, now this is very important, okay, because this explains a lot when it comes to the events of Resident Evil 0 and 1. Not so much the others from what I understand, but here's the thing, okay? Umbrella wants to make not just any ordinary weapon for the military, more specifically weapons that, remember, late 1960s, this is cutting-edge technology, biotechnology that we're talking about here. So you got to keep that under wraps. So let's see their plan of attack here as far as strategy when it comes to research. Now, the main city involved here, and I know you guys know, this is Raccoon City. A Midwestern town by mountains, from what I understand. And that's pretty much all the explanation I've heard. So here's the idea. If you gotta do some cutting edge biotechnological research, you need some state-of-the-art labs. But again, you gotta keep these secret. So how are you gonna do that? Well, first off, you have to find a location that's pretty remote that not many people visit. This is where the Arklay Mountains north of Raccoon City come in very handy. So, problem number 1 solved. We have that remote location, no one's gonna go there, we're good. But, just in case if someone does, how in the hell can we justify the presence of labs? Very simple, you just gotta hide them. So, more literally, instead of keeping these labs under wraps, they kept them underground. Such a genius idea, and there are 2 particular labs that we have to talk about. One lab is located underneath a facility used to train umbrella management, and the other lab, which is not that far away, still in the Arklay Mountains, is underneath the Spencer Mansion. It was personally designed by a world-famous architect named George Trevor, and I'll get to him and his family a little bit later too. Okay, so as far as part 1 goes, there's really only one other fundamental thing you gotta know. So we have these 2 facilities located, secret facilities located pretty far away from Raccoon City. Now, a lot of the people, the employees of Umbrella, live in Raccoon City. So how do you get them to go from Raccoon City to go all the way to the Arklay Mountains and also prevent other people, normal civilians, from getting to those facilities? Pretty simple. Use a train. So Umbrella, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, Spencer and Ashford, they had a lot of money, so obviously this stuff ain't cheap, but they used their money to fund all this. They commissioned a train called the Ecliptic Express for the sole purpose of transporting Umbrella employees from Raccoon City to the facilities in the Arklay Mountains and back. And this is probably going to be the last fundamental thing we're going to have to go over, training. So the idea is, again, Umbrella has a specific training facility for future prospective management material when it comes to Umbrella. Because keep in mind, Umbrella is a pretty messed up company, so they need to handpick people that show the proper attitude and slight, ethical bend to work and manage a company such as Umbrella. So there were 2 particular executive trainees that really stood out in the eyes of not just Spencer, but also Marcus. Ashford is going to kind of take a backseat in this, and I'll explain that in another part in the series. These 2 trainees are Dr. William Birkin and Albert Wesker. And something about the genius of Wesker, I don't know if people really appreciate this. He is primed to become the new head or the future head of Umbrella. Now, Dr. Birkin is very important, but his main job is to carry on the research of Dr. Marcus. But this is the genius of Wesker. Wesker knew that whatever weapon they were working on has to be tested in a military warfare scenario. So, what does he decide to do? And this is why the founders of Umbrella love this guy. He decides to become a police officer for Raccoon City, become a top-ranking police officer, corrupt the police chief, and not only that, he decides to create a specific team that we know as STARS for the sole reason, not to really fight crime or some crap like that, for the sole reason of being future test subjects to test their weapon against, which is crazy smart if you think about it. Dr. Birkin's a genius, but compared to Wesker, he's dumb as hell.
I will follow my initial plan and lure the STARS members into the mansion. Their superior combat training should make them perfect test subjects.
Their own captain betrayed them, like lambs to a slaughter. Till next time.
I will follow my initial plan. And lure the STARS members into the mansion. should make them perfect. Test.